Good afternoon. We're going to do some canning today. Here's a whole lot of tomatoes. Most of them came from my garden. Some of them also came from a local vegetable stand. This should keep me busy most of the afternoon. Once this water here gets boiling, I'm going to be putting the tomatoes into the water to take the peels off. Here's the big canner, which I can usually get about 4 quarts in. We, in the canning world, call this hot water bathing. Inside here, I will fill it with some water. Right now my tools are still in there. And here's some jars we're hoping to fill today. And also, not everyone does this, I like to. I put celery, jalapenos, banana peppers, onions, and green peppers all in my stewed tomatoes. These work excellent for chili, Spanish rice, making a roast in your crock pot. Many, many good, tasty things you can use for canned tomatoes. While we're waiting for that water to boil, I'll give you a little rundown of the tools used for canning. This comes handy for putting on top of the jar get the tomatoes in, which I don't have a jar here. This gets the air out of the jars. You don't want a lot of air in there when you're canning. And this is a handy little jar lifter, which we will get to later. Some lids, more lids, spinners, lids. Also, you do need some pickling and canning salt. I put about 1 teaspoon in each jar of my stewed tomatoes. Then when you're all done, if you want to get fancy, I do label my jars. The water here is just about boiling, so what I normally do here is put 3-4 tomatoes in here. What I'm going to watch for is the skin to crack. Usually takes 30 seconds or so, depending on how rolling of a boil we have here in the pan. Then after they are in that boiling water for a while, I do drop them into some cold water in a bowl in the sink. This does get messy, and sometimes I do put ice in this bowl. After a while your hands get a little more tolerant or less tolerant to the heat. So now I'm going to take them out of there and peel and core them. As you can see here, the peels have come off and I put them in there. They come out off very easy. What I like to do when I'm canning is I quarter them, sometimes dice them, however you like them to be in your chili or whatever you're making. Here's one of my garden helpers, Thomas. Say hi, Thomas.
Hi.
He's become a big help here with the garden, and he likes anything to do outside, whether it be the ponds and helping grow things. Tell him how big your cabbage was.
As round as me.
It was as round as him. Okay. Okay, I got this jar just about full here. I just put the peppers, onions, celery, etc. I just put them in whatever. You could layer them, get fancy, but in the end, it all tastes the same. What I'm going to do now is you like to take and get the air in here so you've got an even pack, as they call it when you're canning. I can add a little bit more here. I like to leave about a 1/4 inch head space. My family and I have been doing that for years. Kind of to eyeball this rim here is about a 1/4 inch. I'm going to add a little bit more tomatoes here, and we'll finish packing up the jars and get them in the hot water bath. And we're still busy here packing the jars. As you see too, I do this year, my dad, I Like Oldies. He starts a lot of these tomato plants from seed, and this year he grew a lot of, not so much a lot, but quite a few plants of these. We call them yellow pears. It's a little smaller than a golf ball here. I do like to incorporate these in my tomatoes. However, you wouldn't want to can a whole jar of yellow pears. I believe, in order to keep over the years on the shelf, tomatoes need a certain amount of acidity and pH. I don't know the exact scientific of that. However, I do mingle them in my jars here and there. Adds a little color as well. Well, I've managed to get 3 jars ready. What I'm going to do here is take this video and cut it short here, and I'm hoping to wrap everything up with the second video. It's going to take me a while. We still have quite a bit more tomatoes here. The water is rapidly boiling, and well, I'm going to get back to work, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Just meant to be informational for people maybe thinking about canning. My family, I've been canning with my dad since as long as I can remember. All my grandparents, that as far as I can remember, have canned, and this is the way they've done it. So I'm just hoping to carry this on to my children. And it's fun, it's good for you, and nothing beats a pot of homemade chili with your own stewed tomatoes. Thanks for watching.